Dude,
Hey,
this is crazy.
crazy. I can't believe it. The two YouTube guys. Here we are.
This is the longest I've gone without seeing you since I've known you.
Wow, that's true. Yeah, that is crazy. And I don't miss you. No, I'm joking.
It's crazy. I watched your special last night. I'm proud of you. It's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Yours as well, but we all knew that.
I don't know about that. But
Oh, come on.
dude, so the trans joke's one of my favorites.
Thanks. That
Where
took
you
about
go,
7 months to get to work, by the way.
that took 7 months?
Literally, because you know that whole thing with Kevin Hart and the midget and all that, and then the Kevin Hart tag at the end of like, because he's a midget. That just hit me in the shower like a week before the special, and I was like, ah! It was like a lightning bolt.
So
And
aren't you glad you waited like an extra couple months to shoot it because you get that one tag?
that's true, yeah. And that's the one good thing about a pandemic is I'm not thinking of new tags, you know. So I'm like, all right, it's done. You know how you always think of new shit after you record it? You're like, I should have
Yeah,
said that. I'm not even thinking about that anymore because I'm not
yeah.
working on bits.
Are you not working on stand up at all?
I mean, I'm working on it, but it's not like, it's not the fucking grind it was before. Like now I'm just kind of like, oh, maybe I'll write that down. I'll touch on that idea. But before we're just like tunnel vision stand up.
Yeah, I feel like we're not only out of shape, but like, you're talking about having a bit hit you on the subway. How often do you do a set and then you're taking the subway to your next set and your mind is just on because it's like it got
Yes.
jump started. We don't have that anymore.
I know. We're house cats. We used to be feral pumas out there, you know. Now we're just licking our paws, and we got a can of tuna getting open for us, you know. We lost our edge. It's terrifying.
We used to be fucking feral cats. Now we're fucking house cats. We've lost it.
Yes.
We're weak.
We're weak. We're weak. We're like an elk with a bad leg, you know. Like we're in captivity. We're that orca with the turned up fin, you know. But I was listening to it because I'm just trying to get back into it, and I was listening to a set. You know, you're right. You listen to your sets, and after it you go, The Cellar, decent, or The Stand, new stuff, or whatever. So I listened to one. It was like weak, and I was like, oh, let me listen to this, and it was so good.
Yes.
I'm so bad now that like I hear that weak set, I'm like, oh, I see where you're going there. That's got potential. Whereas before I was like, this is shit.
It's scary to listen to old sets because you listen to old sets and you're like, I'm now learning jokes like I'm an actor and these are lines in a play.
Yes, how sad. It used to be coming out of you. It used to be like your soul, and now it's just like, oh, I got to remember these words.
Even this, I mean, this doesn't like this feels like we're just in the future. This doesn't feel real.
I know, I hate it. It feels like we're not allowed to fuck anymore, and this is like the only thing that's legal. You know, like this is the closest we can get. I need to touch a wet gash, and we're just phone sexing.
That is the one career that and the suicide hotline. If you're working a phone, you're okay. That's it.
Yeah. Cam girl, suicide hotline, and yeah, I don't know. IT is doing great.
It took you 7 months to get that transmit going. Was there any point where you thought I'm going to drop it?
Many times, because it would bomb a lot too. Like in the beginning, when it wasn't all connected and flowing, it was bombing. So I was like, it's already a touchy subject. I'm doing midget. I'm doing trans. I'm tap dancing here already. So fuck it. But you know those bits, some they just stick in your head, and you go, if I was listening to stand up, I'd want to hear this. And that's what I always tell myself. You know, I heard Jim Jeffries say that once. He was like, I just do the act that I would want to hear.
Yeah, I heard Jim Jeffries summarize why offensive jokes are great once. Like he just said, the job of the comedian is to walk right up to the line and then cross it. So if one of my jokes doesn't age well from 10 years ago, that's because you guys have changed, not because of the joke. But that's a great point, you know?
Great point. So true.
But that trans joke is so good because you are saying I've progressed. I've moved forward, and there's like a theme in your hour is like, I'm trying, dude.
Yes. I'm under construction here. I'm a work in progress.
Yeah.
And we're all fucked. Like we act like we're all morally superior, but we all have horrible thoughts like, oh, I'm glad I'm not attracted to kids. Or I've noticed a lot of Hispanic people do this. And it's not, you're not evil. You just have these thoughts. And what's a good way to get them out that shows you that I'm not a piece of shit? I'm just like you, you know?
Yeah. Also, you didn't say I didn't notice all. You said I've noticed some.
Right.
And a lot of it is just, we're observational comedians. So a lot of what we do is just observing. It's not saying, fuck these people.
Yes, I'm
It's
the
saying,
messenger.
have you, I mean, Jerry Seinfeld, have you ever noticed? Is that offensive now
Right,
to
right.
notice?
He's noticing Pop Tarts. We notice Puerto Ricans. Like it's still noticing. It's just one is touchy or whatever.
Well, it makes me happy too, because like we bounce bits all the time, but then I notice in your hour, like we both have true crime jokes, we both have abortion jokes, but I think they're such different jokes.
Oh yeah, dude, that abortion chunk of yours with the boo, that was the baby's ghost. Chivalry was his name.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was like that was a real like holy shit, this guy's on another level.
Thank you, man. Dude, your abortion joke, I mean, we're just sucking each other off now, but your abortion joke where the woman says she had an abortion and what you said is offensive, and you say, well I think what you did is worse. I mean,
I've
that's
re- I
perfect.
remember running that by you. I was in a hotel, I think in Utah, and I ran that by you like, this will be too dark. I can never do it. And you were like, that's gold. You got to do it. And that got me to do it.
It's such a great way to get, I think, people who are pro-life and the other side just on board. You get everyone with an abortion joke, which is near impossible.
Right. It's same. And then I'm just keep pointing out like these are jokes. It doesn't. And you had an interview years ago where you said dark jokes don't mean you're a bad person.
Right.
And I always think about that when I'm writing these jokes. I'm like, these are just jokes. And then I go, I love abortion. I'm for abortion. Like, just because I made a joke against it doesn't mean I'm not for it. And that's why I try to bring it back. And I just keep insulting people who think this shit is offensive or whatever. Because I'm like, you're silly. These are words in the air. We're all going to die one day.
That's such a funnier way to describe being pro-choice. I'm for abortion. It sounds so much more reckless.
Right. I mean, I've paid for 2. Let's be honest.
Have you?
Yeah. I'm putting my money where my vagina is or whatever. my vulva.
So you did pay. You should pay.
Yeah, I paid. I was a gentleman.
So the abortion stuff, the trans joke to me is like one of the highlights, just because it's like that to me felt like the type of bit, and this is like the highest praise. That's like a bit Carlin would have been like, that's a Carlin bit. You know what I mean? Because it's like a shitload of punchlines. You're coming. That's what I noticed too, is you're coming so fast throughout the hour that even if someone is like, hey, you're just on to the next joke already.
Yeah. You have to punch it up because they want to come at you. They want to find those holes in there and get you. You got to just keep zigging and zagging like a crocodile's chasing you.
But don't you think we're getting? I feel this way, and I don't know if you feel the same way, because mine's been out like a little longer than yours. So I don't think people are really coming for me, and I don't think my hour is. It's probably the wokest, so to speak, of my hours.
I would agree.
Only because I'm getting older, and I'm just kind of like I'm not as angry, and I'm a little more relaxed, and I don't think anyone's coming for any comedians on YouTube. Like, we put this out for free. How fucking lame a troll do you have to be like, I demand an apology? We put this out for free. Fuck you.
That's a good point. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're already the underdog, so I think that helps us, because a lot of this is about oppression and power levels. You know,
right.
Like you can say this about him because you're up here and they're whatever. And I think at YouTube we're already at the bottom, so you can't really take us down anymore.
Seriously, we're getting crushed by cat videos. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
And ours are, yours is already like over 600,000. Incredible, man.
Yeah, it's going well, but I've hit a wall. So
no, you haven't.
I feel like I got the pandemic bump, meaning like we're stuck inside. We've seen all of Ozark. Let's put this on, but it's already like the shine is off. It's like a relationship, like now we're in the getting to know you phase, and it sucks. We're not just fucking at
4 days in. That's when getting to know someone and it's already old.
It's over. I'm done with her. She's old news. So like now I got to go zoom it up with Kreischer and the Bonfire and try to get on Rogan and Bobby Lee and all that shit. So
well, it all will help. But I mean, dude, it's a great hour. There's so many bits, but the trans one to me was like, I was like, oh shit, that's what like comedy's all about. Cause you don't go I mean, you've never been this way, but like there's nothing with a whiff of pandering in your material.
Oh, thanks.
You get applause breaks with just hard punchlines, which we're like in an era where so many comedians are getting applause breaks by just saying the obvious.
Right.
I feel like you're not doing that. And that's what I appreciated watching it,
Thank you for saying that. You do the same, but I feel like it's if everyone's doing that, let's go the other way, and it's harder, so less people
Yeah.
can do it, and that's why it's kind of fun when it does fail a lot, because you're like, now I really know I'm onto something, because this is kind of unusual now.
Don't you miss failing? I mean, you're talking about this like set you thought was bad. Don't you just miss? I really miss failing on
Yeah.
stage. I did a Zoom private event thing yesterday, and I
Oof.
bombed a joke. I had a couple riffs up top about there was like an advertising company, and the lines killed out of the gate.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple bomb, and I was like, oh, no good. And I miss like having to save a bomb.
Yeah, it gets your blood pumping again. You're like, oh shit, I gotta get on my toes here.
It keeps you in the moment, and I feel like we've lost that skill, and that's why those comics we see who are like just writers room comics, who just are like hobby comics,
Right.
who are great writers, but they're not putting the work in the clubs, how they just kind of stay monotone and kind of bomb.
Oh yeah, and the what do you call it? Like everything has to be just right in a room for a lot of those guys to kill. We've all seen those people where,
Right.
sure, if everything is manicured perfectly, not one guy coughs, not one guy orders a chicken finger, they'll kill. But we go
Right.
in the fucking out in the war zone in Florida or Omaha or whatever, and it's like heckle time, it's check your phone time, it's check
Right.
spots, and that shit makes you better. It's hell, but it makes you better. And that's why like a guy like Burr is so good. You see him on a podcast, he's just going off about this and that because he had to do that. Like how many times you had to call an audible in your act?
Yeah.
I mean, we have to do it. You still have to entertain these people. They paid a $20 ticket. They came out here, you know, you got to entertain them. You got to find a way.
Well, we are club comics, and then you film your special in Los Angeles in Dynasty Typewriter, which is so not a club. I mean, that's like an alt hip room. It's a great room, but it's not.
Thanks.
It's not where you're used to, probably. So was that weird at all?
That was not my choice.
Whose choice was it?
Well, that was basically my agent. Our agent was like, "Look, you sold out 2 of them. We've been trying to film this thing. It's a theater. Fuck it, let's do it here." And I was like, "Yeah, that's a good point." So we did it there. It was all on a whim. I had like 3 days to think about it, and we just did it there because it is a theater. And she's like, Sandler filmed there. I was like, yeah, that's a good point. But it did not feel comfortable at all.
It looked good. The way it was shot looked cool, and yeah, I know what you mean. We're not used to those. Like we play those Brooklyn rooms, we play those alt rooms, but we are club comics, and we're on the road.
Totally, but you are in the cellar. You're in the Village Underground. You look so comfortable, and you look so at home there. Like if you look at mine is so rinky-dink. There's no camera shot face straight on. It's 2 side cameras because it was just so cheap and like last minute that like
wow.
I'm scared to say that out loud because people are gonna watch and go, oh yeah, there's not one straight shot of me. How sad is that for a comedy special? That's all you need is a straight shot, and it's 2 of these.
Wow.
So
I didn't notice until you just told me right there.
Okay, good. That's a good sign. That's a lot of my editor Jason was just like. He's a wizard with that shit.
Jason Katz, shout out. He directed mine. He's our buddy.
Yes, he's good.
So you haven't gotten any shit for it. No jokes. It's all positive, the feedback.
Pretty good. I think we bitch about the cancel and all that, but like it's really only bad if you're famous. You have something that can be taken away from you. And, you know, we're still joking. A lot of these guys, like the Shane Gillis stuff, people are like, that wasn't really a joke. That was just mean. Which I get, he was trying to be funny. He was going for humor. So I don't think it's that bad. But, like, we were just joke. Like, there's not one thing you can take out of that and go, this didn't feel like a joke. So you can't really get us because it's just so many punchlines.
Well, they didn't get Shane on stage. You know, Shane's a punchy comic as well. You know,
that too. If there's a room of people laughing, a lot more slides.
That's a great point. Yeah, and you can see your face. It's not Twitter. You can tell that we're being silly. You can tell that there's no malicious intent. So were you? I'm sure now you're thrilled you recorded it, but were you bummed when you did it? Were you like, fuck, this is like an admission of defeat. I'm doing this on my own. Of
course, and not to mention when I went to sell it, people were like, you got the back saying comedy? Oh God, what is that? And then like, you know, what's with these colors and what are you wearing? You're wearing a windbreaker. I was like, yeah. It was all last minute. I was out of a suitcase in LA. I was living in a Airbnb, and they're like, and now all that went away when the numbers hit.
Exactly.
How about you? I mean, yours is so planned though. Yours is so like the outfit is amazing. Your hair looks good. The set looks good. You had a fucking painting in the back, you know?
Well, it was planned because I went through the same thing you went through, which is the rejection and trying to sell it and people just not being interested for whatever reason. They got their slate full. And so, yeah, of course, there's like, I think we had a similar thing where a lot of our heroes have kind of validated us in the comedy community. And a lot of people, you know, we're grateful for all these great comics who have shared both of ours. But then you get the industry side not quite coming around yet. So yeah, it's confusing. You're like, man, what a mind fuck that is to put out something that we're, you know, both pretty proud of and put a lot of work in and
it's better than a lot of shit out there. No offense to other comics, but we have to be good because we're not famous.
Right. And we're still hungry. And that's the thing is like, what hurts about this is, man, we were trying to set up the next one. We're like, here's a fucking killer hour. Now we're ready to put out an even better one.
Yeah.
Get back on the road. And here we are.
I know. And I was doing, like, I had a gig the week after I recorded this, and you can see it's a lot of shit, but I'm like halfway there almost. Yeah. And now that's all gone. All that momentum is gone.
We'll get it back. It doesn't feel like it, but we'll get it back.
We'll get it back. I just hate losing time.
I hate it, and I loved our lives, man. Like a lot of people think we're crazy for loving the road, but I feel like it's the only way. Yeah. It's the only way you got to learn to love it. I remember I heard a story that Michael Jordan once said, a young player, Frank Ntilikina, who's a young player in the Knicks, said, how did you get so great? And he thought he would just say, I outworked everybody. But he said, I learned to love the shittiest parts.
Ooh.
And that's what the road is to me, man. You just learn to love morning radio. I hate it, but you got to learn to love it. You got to fake your way through it to you. Like, I'll get a bit. I'll figure something out.
Yes. I mean, the bad coffee, the fucking airport security, the shitty, sleazy manager at the club, all that shit, the weird drug addict who picks you up from the airport guy. I mean, all the little things, it's all an adventure, and it's always different. Yeah. That's the beauty of it. Like, I feel like it's comics, our biggest enemy is that monotony and that routine, you know? And like, so just to go, now we're in Utah, now we're in Denver, now we're in Florida. It's different every week, and that's nice.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Once we stop, we're like sharks, man. We stop moving, we fucking die. We need stimulation. It's almost like sometimes I'll just walk home a different way. Cause I'm like, all right, there's a different block. Maybe that'll spark something, you know?
I do the same. This is why I have so much trouble with my girlfriend. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But it's true. You need that shit. And not to mention, you said this the other day, we got no superpower. That was our whole thing. You know, like imagine if you take, hey, Ken Griffey Jr., we're going to take your right arm away. Now you can't swing a bat. That's a bad example, but you see what I'm saying? Like what makes him
lefty.
Special.
He was lefty. It's still one arm. You're still not good.
Right. You can't swing a bat with one arm. Although there was Bud Abbott or whatever that guy's name.
Jim Abbott. Abbott. But he was like missing a finger. He wasn't missing like everything, you know? He was missing like a few fingers. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Oh, they make
still
it sound
amazing.
Like he had a nub or something.
I think maybe he did have a nub. Maybe I'm fucking this up. But either way, missing 2 fingers or a nub, still an impressive feat. But, you know, yeah, you're right. We have lost. There's no good comedians right now.
No, not one. And
no one's good at stand-up.
And if you're good on Zoom, that doesn't count. But yeah,
are you doing it?
It's true.
Are you doing Zoom shows?
I'm only doing Zoom because I did a show the other night and I couldn't even remember my act, and it hurt me so bad. It was like soul crushing. Yeah. That I felt like a guitar player who just was like, "How does this go?" It was like the guy in a fucking Back to the Future. I felt like that picture that was fading away, you know. And it hurt me like to my soul because that's all I have. Like I'm a word guy and I can't even remember the words I wrote down, and it fucking killed me. So I'm doing them just out of fear.
It is like if Ken Griffey forgot how to swing a bat.
Yes, that's our thing. Like you go up to a girl at a bar, you know, in a single different life, you got nothing. You're just a fucking tall Jew. That's it. And I'm a 5'10" dweeb, you know, but with comedy, we had something.
We had something. So before this, what was your routine for writing jokes? I know some of your routines, but I picture you being very regimented, like waking up, because you're like very active on Twitter. You do your jokes every day.
Yeah, I do. I use Twitter as a huge open mic because Twitter's good for ideas. Like, you don't have to actually throw the bit out. You just throw the premise out and people are like, oh, you got something here, retweet. So that's good. But for me, like, you're more of a page to stage guy because you've texted me stuff and I'm like, that's great. And then I see you do it that night and it hits. And that's very rare, by the way.
I don't know.
It's a rare skill.
I feel like we were both
try it out.
I do try it out stuff too, especially with stories. You got to kind of like, I have some new stories that I was doing on the road before this happened. And you really, you got to just keep telling it. It's like, sometimes I'll tell a story to a friend I'm like, I'll have a friend I'll call on the phone, be like, let me just tell you this story and just don't interrupt. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Cause I just need to like, be like, is that good the way I told it? And they're like, oh, that was interesting. And then they're like, all right, I can tell this story. I'm just going to start telling this story on stage, you know?
Right. I know. But then you hear guys like, because I'm similar to that, and then I go on stage and fuck around with it. But then you hear Bill Burr, he has this thing where he doesn't want to write it down because he's scared it'll sound written. So he just goes up and talks about it, and he still makes it good.
Yeah.
I watched him once at the Comedy Store. He popped in, he did the main room, and then I followed him like a puppy to the belly room, and he changed it a little bit, and then I followed him to the OR, and he changed it a little bit, and I followed him back to the main room, and he was done. And I was like, geez, this guy's a fucking joke smith.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm a little that way. I'm half that way and half your way.
What's the Bill Burr quote that we used to always say? It was something about like killing in obscurity.
Oh, I think about that all the time. Yeah. It's so us.
Like just us going to strip malls week after week.
Yes, you're in Des Moines murdering and nobody has ever heard of you. Nobody knows you. No one will ever hear about this ever except for maybe a tweet. And that's it. And you go back to the hotel and you go, I was fucking Superman for an hour and 8 minutes. And now I'm jerking off to a bra ad, you know? It's crazy. It's a weird life.
You jerk off to bra ads? What ads? This is the most innocent road character you've created ever.
I was just thinking of that USA Today. Sometimes it's on the floor at the hotel, and you leaf through it.
God, I always want to read USA Today because I'm like, well, it'll spark something, maybe a headline joke just to get my brain going. It's such a shitty newspaper. There's nothing in there ever.
It's all polls. Do you like 88% of the country likes marinara more than salsa? Like, who gives a fuck?
And then there's like the money section. You're like, who's reading the money section?
I know.
Honey, I got a get rich quick scheme. How? The money section.
Yeah, Folgers is up. We got to buy. Yeah, I know. I never got that either. Those are fucking lunatic, crazy money, like accountant guys, I assume, autistics.
And then you get the Wall Street Journal. That's another one in the hotels where you're like, all right, but like, am I really looking at stocks? I'm at a Holiday Inn in fucking Salt Lake, you know? Am I really?
Unless you're there at the Holiday Inn to research it to buy stock, you're not going to be doing stocks. Yeah, come on. We're in a red roof here.
Do you have any regrets about putting out this special the way you did?
Oh yeah, I mean, I got a bunch just because the camera in the front would be nice. I would have worn something else. I kind of wish I'd done a little.
Wait, but what, you couldn't have gone to like a Macy's or like a fucking Target the day of?
I guess you got a point. I had a suitcase. I put something on. I did a couple pitches that day, and I went to the show. I didn't even think about it. I know. I was
like
worried about the act.
You treat your hour special like it's just a bar show that night.
Maybe that's a good way to go about it. I don't know. I was keeping it loose.
For the comfort level, man, you were very loose. You were doing act outs. You were being silly, you know?
Oh, thanks. Yeah. What else do I regret? I think one or two crowd shots I probably would have done in a club, to be honest, or a room I'm comfortable in. Because that crowd was not giving it up. I had to fucking work them. And I wouldn't have realized that unless you told me that beforehand. But I was like, yeah, they're his people, but they're his people in an alt room. Yes, it's a very precious, cute, quiet little theater, and you're not going to get a lot of hooting and hollering in there, which is what you want for a special. And so
But
I had
that's
to
a
like,
well-behaved. They don't even serve alcohol at Dynasty Typewriter, so
exactly.
this is not what you're accustomed to.
No, they have like little plays where they do, Little Women and shit over there. So like, I'm coming and talking about trans and this and that, and so it was totally out of place. But yeah, it luckily was my people, so it was definitely my people subdued.
Yeah.
But
your act is not ideal for
out.
following a bunch of sisters hugging.
Yeah, exactly. The Joy Luck Club was on after
me. So yeah, that's interesting. Did you call any comics for advice beforehand? Like, I know you know Jerry. Did you call Jerry? Do you text Burr? Like, what are you doing?
No, I was too nervous. I'm too scared to text Jerry about anything. I'd give him a happy birthday a week ago, and he wrote back, which was nice. But I had texted him HBD, and I know right now he's like, HBD? You don't have time to write happy birthday? But I'll deal with that later. But I didn't. I should. I think I texted you, and that was about it. I just was like, let's get this fucking thing down in the can. I'm sick of it. It was getting embarrassing. Like, I'd go to cities, and they were like, we heard a lot of this. And you're like, you're right.
But they don't understand until you tape it. It's hard to just drop it because you're like, well, maybe I'll find something new. It's not easy. And then I tape mine just because I was like, a lot of these are Me Too jokes. I'm done with this shit. I'm done with Me Too material.
Right. Now, this is what I'm scared of. Are you scared of going back out on the road? Maybe we get a little leeway because of Corona, but I'm scared of going back out there and people are going to go, we saw your special. We never heard of you before. It was so good. And then you come out with a bunch of new shit and they're like, maybe that was his best stuff. Fuck this guy.
I'm worried about my ability. I'm not worried about, I think the crowds are going to be generous. And I think bombing a little bit will probably be good for us. And I'm also not even that scared to bomb once I get my fastball back. I'm scared of bombing when I'm a step slow.
Right.
That's the thing about comedy. We got to go back out there even when we're not good. If you're a UFC fighter, you're not getting back in the ring when you haven't fucking worked out in like 8 weeks, I
know. And just like the road, we need a few bar fights or something, just like unofficial fights to like just shake us back into shape.
I'm going to preface my set with, I'm out of shape. I'm doing all new shit. You're not getting fucking shit from the special. I'm out of shape. I'm gonna rehearse. I'm gonna write out my entire hour in a Word document.
Wow, really?
Because if I fuck up, I want to be able to know why. I worded stuff a certain way. I worded certain jokes. I found new ways into those jokes. When you're like figuring out segues. I was kind of riffing out. I riffed a couple tags from my last weekend in Royal Oak, Michigan. Yeah. And I was getting it to a place where I was getting pretty happy with it, not to shoot, but to tour with for a while and keep honing. And it's tough to start at zero.
I know, because boy, we had some good momentum and we, I just hate that it's going to take more time. We're already losing so much time. It's going to take more time just to get back to zero. And then you got to go up again. It's just, I hate going backwards. It kills me.
What are you doing about the road? Are you going to just wait? Are you canceling dates? Or are you hungry to just get back out there and say,
I'm going to go back out there as soon as I can. Like, it's going to be shitty at first, like 25% capacity. Then you have 10 people there, 6 feet apart.
How soon?
I'm going to go out as soon as I can. I have no fear of catching it or getting anything. Yeah, I go out every day. I've been drinking all day in the park,
What are you drinking?
I was drinking White Claws by the pier today.
By yourself?
Me and the lady.
Oh, okay.
We took shrooms yesterday. I mean, we're off the rails over here.
What flavor of White Claw is your go-to?
I go black cherry.
That's a good one.
Yeah, African American cherry. But I think I had it in January, so like I'm not too worried. And the West Village, everybody thinks New York is this crazy epicenter. We're on fire, but morale is good. Everybody's on their stoop. Nobody's got work. Everybody's drinking on their stoop, listening to music, hanging out, talking. It's kind of nice.
That's such a funny way to just, morale's good. Everyone's unemployed. They're getting shit-faced on the street. Things are good,
But it looks like the 40s in Brooklyn. There's kids playing stickball and hula hoops and shit. There's a guy with a hula hoop with a stick going down the street,
I
a
love
snow
that.
cone guy. Yeah.
I
It's
love
nice.
that. Oh, dude, I miss New York. This is the longest I've ever been away from home. I mean, it's
Yeah.
tough. I miss New York City so damn much. I'm in a bigger apartment because I'm staying with Taylor in Los Angeles, but it's it's I miss the city. I miss
Well,
city life.
you look 5 years younger, which is crazy.
Because she cut my hair yesterday.
Maybe that's it. But your skin is clean and clear. You don't have a wrinkle on you. It's crazy.
Well, I've been going through phases where, like, I was drinking a little bit less before this happened, and I'm like, well, I picked a great time to cut back. Jeez, I want to get fucking blasted. But when you're
Yeah.
living with someone who doesn't drink, it's hard. It's hard to. I'll have a few, but like,
Right.
what am I gonna do? What am I gonna
Yeah.
get loaded while she's just like hanging out, reading a book?
Yeah. She's trying to watch 90 Day Fiance, and you're like, look at the guy, no neck. He's got no neck. Yeah, you don't want to be that guy.
But yeah, I've been doing more edibles, which I'd never really done. But in LA, that's what you do. I bought, look, I hit the fucking, I'm not gonna act like I didn't hit the supermarket and grab multiple bottles of bourbon.
Yeah.
I got vermouth, I got bitters, I got maraschino cherries, I'm making Manhattans. What are you doing? Cocktails? You doing beer? What are you doing?
I was doing beer for a while, but it's just so heavy, and I'm not working out as much, so I was putting on the LBs. So I went back to bourbon and tequila are my two. Scotch. Those are my two go-tos there. But yeah, I do a couple ice cubes. I got the big ice cube maker.
Me too, man.
And yeah, I just do like a spritz of soda or seltzer water, and I'm good to go. Lemon.
What are you cooking? What are you making?
Oh man, the lady's been cooking up a storm. I mean, it's just like we did make cacciatore one night, chicken cacciatore. We made a beef stroganoff. We made a gumbo, and she's killing it. I mean, when your back's against the wall, got all the time in the world. We're failing a few times, but it's all fun. The dishes are the cunt of it all.
Oh my god, it's brutal.
Brutal.
The cooking and the eating, it's the sex.
Yes.
The dishes the morning after.
Write it down.
Really? That's
great. That's great.
What?
Relatable.
Do you have any bits that do you have any bits where you're like running by your girlfriend now where you're like, just tell me, is this a bit? Are you driving her nuts with premises or no?
All the time. Yeah. And she's a good bouncer because she'll keep it honest.
And she's funny.
Yeah, and she's a funny gal, and she doesn't get offended by anything. So she's a good gauge. But I need that crowd, and I need that rhythm. I can't get my rhythm back where you're on stage and you're like, this should go here, that should go here, this is where it should tie up, and then I'll tag it here. That's all fucked.
I took for granted building a set. It was my least favorite part. Editing was always my least favorite part. I always like creating, but like I miss editing a lot now.
Yeah, good point. Taking that line out, and now we knew what had to be taken out. Now I'm like, I don't know. It's like the garbage is building up on my act, and I don't know what needs to go. It's tough. It's like a haircut or like a bonsai tree, and my tree's all over the place. I don't know what to snip.
So are you ordering in food or no?
Not really. We haven't done it. It's they kill you on the prices here with the ordering in.
Are they jacking it up?
Way up. There's like a delivery fee now, and then they add a tip, but you still want a tip. So that kills you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like a couple rolls of sushi comes out to like $70 something, and you're like, I'm gonna have a couple pieces of bread. I'm still hungry.
I know.
What's it like over there? Because you guys are shut down till September now.
Is it September? It's changing every day.
I heard.
I don't know, man. We're going out to the grocery store. We're doing here and there, we're doing Instacart too, but we hit the grocery store and it's fucking, I got sick as hell one day. I don't know. I had a fever of 101. So I'm hoping I had, dude, it was hell. If that's what it is for 2 weeks, then it's the worst. I don't know what it was, but I couldn't move.
Yes, that's what I had.
So how long were you out?
I was out for about 4 days, and I called Dr. Steve, our famous doctor, who's a fucking saint. He's cured chlamydia countless times, and he told me, he's like, I don't know what this, because it was January. He's like, I don't know what you got. This is bad, but I don't know what it is. It's got to be some kind of bug going around. And he's like, I would just ride it out. And I was like, all right. I just wrote it out, and like going to the bathroom took all my energy. I'd have to lay down after that. I was sweating. I had a fever. It was brutal.
I was a disaster. It was only a day, but goddamn, dude. I mean, it's that tough thing where you're like, if you die now, you're dying alone. You know, so it's like, and I'm such a pussy. It was like 24 hours, and I was like, I want to fucking die. It sucks.
Yeah, it was bad. I was doing sets during it too, so I was like touching the mic and
You
coughing
did
on
sets?
people. Yeah, I did a couple sets. I would just do like one a night, but
you're patient zero, man. You're the reason this shit's spread into New York.
Yeah, maybe
January.
Maybe. Late January, yeah.
That's the thing now, is about like being responsible too, is that you're like, it's one thing, like say we had it and we have the antibodies, but like to go out to the clubs and be like, come on out to people. Is that responsible?
I thought about that. And then you don't want to be in the news. Like comedian Sam Morril goes out to the Tempe, whatever, and, you know, gives everybody this and that. You're like, ah, shit.
Are you driving to gigs, or you're not going to get in a flight?
I'll get on a flight. I told you, I don't care. I feel good about my immunity, but I've been driving I've been doing a couple Airbnbs between us.
Really?
Yeah, we went to upstate. We went to Cape Cod. We're zinging and zanging over here.
Just to mix it up?
Just to mix it up, because, you know, this is a tiny shoebox I'm in. I got my foot in the tub. You can't see it, but that's how small this place is. But yeah, just to mix it up, to have sex in a different apartment, to see something new, to have a new scenery, see a beach.
Any premises that you're like, this is going to be something, but I can't crack it?
Well, has this been done about how everything women make fun of men for, they're trying to do, and when they do, it's called empowerment? Has that been done?
That's funny. That's
like,
a good angle, yeah.
You know, men are so creepy, men are so gross, you're obsessed with sex, and then women are like, hey, we're not sluts, we like to fuck too. And you're like, well, I thought we were creeps, you know, now you sound like us. And like, they're like, we want women to be CEOs and da-da-da. I'm like, I thought we were the asshole CEO guys, like in power. Now you want to be in power and be a CEO cunt? Like, yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, how they don't want equality. They want to do all the shitty things that we did.
Yeah, which is fine. I'd love to have you be a CEO, but don't shit on us, you know?
Yeah.
Something like that.
There's something there for sure.
There's probably other examples too. Like, oh, men are such brutes and they beat each other up, but it's like, women in the MMA, great, all right, you know, and shit like that. Men love sports, these fucking idiots with the sports, and then like, WNBA is great.
Well, you know what's weird is like, here's my thing about the WNBA is like, where are the women supporting it?
Wow. That's a whole nother bag of hammers.
Yeah. But like, it's like, I'm trying to get into it because I've watched some games. I'm like, this is pretty good. And, you know, I try to get into it, but then like, yeah, it's tough because the NBA owns it. It's a whole thing, but they're not, it's just not getting any promotion, you know?
Yeah. The women have to support, but you like what you like, you know? Like Sephora's doing fine, you know? Nobody's complaining about that because women are supporting it.
We open a makeup store for men. We're like, we can't make any money. This is bullshit.
Yeah, what the hell? What about equality? What do you got?
I got some ideas. So we got into an argument the other night, and she said, and I was like, are you mad at me? And she goes, why would I be mad at you? And I was like, oh, you want me to do your work for you? You want me to crack this? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think there's something to that, being like, why would I be mad? So like, so I'm going to give you something you haven't even thought of. I'm just piling on myself now.
Right. You're in the courtroom helping out the other, what is it, the plaintiff?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're helping him out. Like, here, let me give you some evidence over here.
Well, that's what I am. She's the plaintiff, and I'm like the, you know what I have? I have the guy who, like, if you can't afford an attorney, we'll hire him for you. So she's got like the shark, and I've got the guy who's like coming in, he's like bumbling papers. He's just like, he's like, she's good.
Yeah, you got the court-appointed argument. She's got like this high profile guy in a suit. She's got Celino and Barnes. That's a New York reference.
Celino and Barnes, man. God damn. Everyone's going. I think they broke up.
Oh, wow.
I think so. Celino or Barnes, one of them got out of the game.
Damn, that's like Brangelina. That's over. Oh, you know what your bit is? It's kind of like when people say, I always hate it when people do this, even though we've all done it, is when they tell you some long thing and they go, does that make sense? It's like, maybe you should figure out if it makes sense before throwing it my way. You figure it out if it makes sense.
Does that make sense?
They do all the time. Does that make sense? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You figure it out.
Also, does that make sense? Like, what is English your fourth language? You fucking.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I get that all the time. I mean, I've done it, but I get that a lot, I feel like. But that's big. That's a great.
It's something. What else? Anything else you're working on?
See, it's tough because it's so corona-y.
Well, that's what we're living through. So,
Yeah. What about this? Another men and women bit. I've noticed when a guy tells a woman what to wear, it's controlling. Like, hey, you can't wear that. That's too slutty. But if a woman tells a guy what to wear, it's like helpful. You know, you're like, you should not wear those flip flops with socks, and you're like, oh, thank you, Jesus, because we don't fucking know.
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
I don't know what the funny is of it, but I think that it's a good little contrast there.
Because no woman has ever tried to dress a man like more of a whore.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
I don't know. There's something like, like if a guy says you can't go out like that, it's usually like it is his way of controlling her.
Yeah, yeah. But if a woman, well, because sometimes women do that, like, you should wear this sweater, and you're like, ugh.
Yes,
so maybe like that's their version.
That's a good point. The woman flipping it to make you look unfuckable to all her friends.
That's what it is. That's the bit. That's the bit. God, the girl looks too fuckable, and the guy looks not fuckable.
Yeah, like if she's throwing Argyle on, you're taken. It's over. You know what I mean? That's like, does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
I was calling it back.
Call back. All right, hit me.
I had a few ideas. Well, here's one thing I thought of that this might have been done actually. So I want to make sure this hasn't been done. But I said this as a riff on a call I did, an advertising thing I told you yesterday. And this, I said, who do you represent in advertising? And she said, we work with a hospital. And I said, isn't that weird that hospitals have advertising? You know what I mean? Like you're having a heart attack and you're like, fuck, thank God I saw that commercial. That's where I go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
That's great. One time I saw a funeral home was going out of business. I was like, how? Everybody's dying. Like, people are dying every day. How you going to, literally a nonstop product.
That's fucking good. A funeral home going out of business.
That's great. Like, yeah. Thank God I saw that ad on the bus.
Yeah.
Maybe if you get hit by the bus and you see the ad, you're like, I'm going to that one.
Oh, there we go. Right there. Yeah, that's fucking funny.
Yeah, that's good.
What else you got?
Also, people get sick every day. That's so true. Why do you need it? All right. This one I think I got something with. Mm-hmm. So do you ever listen to Pandora?
Yeah, not in a while, but yeah, definitely.
So, you put I love this song or I love this band. Let me put it in, and Pandora will pick things similar to that and play that as well. You know, kind of shuffles it for you. But I've noticed I put in a song I like, and then every song they pick, I hate. So it kind of reminds me of your girlfriend. You're like, all right, I like this girl. And then you meet her friends, and you hate them. But yet they're similar to the girl that you like, and yet you can't stand them. And I'm like, every time, hey, this is Jenny. Skip. Yeah, this is Susie. Downvote. I just want the one I put in.
Yeah, I like the Beatles. I don't like the fucking Monkeys.
Yes, exactly.
That's fun. Yeah, that's a great premise.
Yeah, Pandora. I like Jay-Z. I don't want Biggie, the fat friend over here.
If you like this, you might also like, you had that great Alexa bit in your special. That such a great joke.
Oh, thanks.
About how it's going to use stuff against you like a real woman. I mean, that's that's so concise. That's just perfect.
Oh, thanks. A lot of ladies. I put that on Instagram, and a woman wrote boo, and I was like, all right, now I know I'm on to something.
A boo or a groan means you're close. Attell always says a groan, but I think a boo, it's triggering something, so you just might need to soften it a tad, or so. I don't know. I had one where I'd say women are amazing because you can fake an orgasm but not a good mood.
Great bit.
But it's like, it's occasionally it would get women mad, but usually women would like it. I don't know.
I think it's so dead on that the reason they're mad is because you're completely 100% correct. And I think that's what stings.
Maybe. But
and also, if the group you're making fun of is mad, then I think you're fine. If some rando guy was like, that's a little, then you're like, all right.
Huh. That's a good point.
I think if it's the group you're shitting on, it's like, well, of course they're pissed. I'm making fun of you. But if a group outside of that group, I don't know. That's what I'm like, all right, now I should really get rid of this.
I just think as long as you're not being a dick about it, like you got to make sure to, as people say, smile so they know you're not like really angry. I don't know. What else?
Yeah.
But we were watching this Marlon Brando movie the other night, and Marlon Brando, so fucking great. But I was reading this thing about him, how to prep for a role, he actually stayed in the hospital for like 30 days in a hospital bed to play a veteran, which is so fucking. That's like, yeah, that's great. But also, like, you got to make sure, like, hopefully they had enough beds in the hospital. That's gotta suck. Like, someone's got a gunshot wound. They're like, sorry, Marlon's getting into character. If you could come back,
big.
maybe.
That's big. I love that. I didn't see that coming at all. That's
It's
great.
It's definitely, he's such a fucking weirdo, Marlon Brando, man. Have you ever watched any of his clips on online?
When he got fat and weird.
Dude, it's funny as hell.
Yeah, he got old, and I think he just snapped. Something snapped.
So we were watching a video, Taylor and I, we watched On the Waterfront the other day, and then we just started watching interviews of him and laughing our ass off. We're watching him sing in Guys and Dolls. He can only sing like Marlon Brando. So it's fucking, he's up against Sinatra, and he's like, luck be a lady tonight. You're like, Jesus Christ, this is not like how singing should sound. You know what I mean? It's like a talking voice.
Right, yeah.
And then we get to some interview with his ex-wife, who wrote a book just trashing him, which like sounds annoying, but then you hear her case and you're like, yeah, he sounds nuts. That's got to be rough. And one of her stories, he like met her in the hospital, and she was like bedridden for 10 months, and he fell in love with her and took care of her and got married. And then when she got better, he divorced her. Like, he lost interest.
Whoa! So he's a psycho.
He's just like a total actor. He just needs drama at all times.
Right, like that time he brought the Native American on stage at the Oscars.
Yes, hilarious.
That was crazy.
It's annoying, but I also love how much everyone who like holds the Oscars holy was just furious by it. You gotta kind of love it.
I know. I mean, that would be like if Tom Hanks just kind of flipped and brought out like a little Mexican boy who was in a cage or something. It was like, look at this. Like, what happened to Tom Hanks? He was the biggest star in the world.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Crazy.
Weird dude. What else you got? Anything else?
Yeah. Hold on. Shit. Oh, this might be oh wait, I've run that by you before. Shit. Is this anything about how, like, I used to sit around and go, God damn, it sucks how when it comes to women, they like funny, they like interesting, like they like smart guys. You can't just be hot with women. You got to be all these other things. But then I realized, well, how great is that? Because in the caveman or Middle Ages, you had to like protect them, build the castle, kill the food, stop the army from coming in. All I got to do is crack some jokes. How great is that? Like, we've really evolved,
Yeah.
Back in the day, you had to like do all these things, and now it's like, I like funny guys. You're like, oh, thank God.
Thank God I can't build or kill anything. This is fucking great,
Yeah. Thank God, because men always bitch about that. Like, oh, I got to be interesting. I got to be rich. I got to be smart. It's like, no, those are good. You're not gonna stop the North from invading.
How much must it have sucked to be funny back then?
It was flipped. That was
your own thing.
Right.
You were the jester. You were the guy. You would kill for the king, but then he'd be like, "I'm done with you. Kill him." You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And then some strong guy would kill you.
Exactly. And women like muscles, but you can override that with like, yeah, he's a little overweight, but he's so intelligent, or he knows 4 languages. That's so hot. You're like, thank God I have another thing.
That's something for sure.
Could be something. All right,
I got a lot of bad ideas. I just saw this saw an article in the paper, because this is the grocery store we go to out here. It was in Vaughn's. A guy was seeing a grocery store wearing a KKK mask, which like, I don't like his views, but that is a good way to keep people away and also cover your face.
That's true. Yeah, 2 birds with one clan.
I don't know. I'm thinking of like racist wives right now who are like, I think like their wives are like, even them, they're probably fighting over different shit. Like, did you clean that sheet that you're wearing over your face?
Right. Yeah. I love the idea of a guy who thinks the white race is pure, but he's also like, I don't want to hurt anybody else. Like, he's like, I'll burn a cross and I'll burn a black church, but I don't want to cough on anybody at the grocery store.
He's considerate.
Yes, he's still considerate.
I like the germophobic racist.
Right. I like the Nazi at the concentration camp. Like, where's the Purell? I touched a few Jews.
That's fucking good. Do you ever see there was a Mitchell and Webb sketch back in the day? There's like these great British comedians, and they did a sketch with like they're two Nazis who are slowly realizing that they're the bad guys.
Oh wow!
So they're just like in a pit talking. They're like, "Hey, have you ever noticed that like it's weird we have skulls on our uniforms?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's weird." And they're like, and they just kind of realize like, "Are we the baddies?"
Wow, that's ahead of its time.
It's brilliant. They're like
Brilliant.
They're so damn funny, those guys.
All right, this might be more of a one-linery kind of thing, but I was talking to a friend of mine. He's a black guy, and I was like, "Oh, I went to this plantation in Louisiana. Would you ever want to go to that?" He's like, "Why would I willingly go to a plantation? What are you, crazy?" And I was like, and he's got all this jewelry on. I was like, "Well, you are wearing chains. Is that too silly?"
Well, you had that great joke about how the skiing in your special where
oh yeah,
where you're like, yeah, black people have never worn anything expensive on their feet before. That was a great angle.
Thanks.
But
thanks.
Yeah, I think the chain thing is fun. You're wearing chains, and he's like one more thing. You're wearing chains, and
right. If I set that up right, it could work.
You are wearing chains.
He had like 3 gold chains on. Like that was on you.
Yeah, that's fucking funny.
Yeah, that could be the big punch of like a longer point.
Yeah, it's got to be like a longer conversation. You are wearing chains. Well, also Jews go back to Auschwitz. I mean, Jews visit the attic of Anne Frank, so
right.
People do go back. It's also like, hey, they're not just going to take you,
Right.
You don't go back to the plantation, and it's not a fucking time machine,
Right. Yeah, you're not going to show up. They're going to go, finally, you're here. Here's the shovel or whatever.
Although I get it, like there are definitely some streets in New York where I've like had arguments with exes, and I'm like, I'm going to avoid that street. You know what I mean? You just like play it safe.
Yeah, Chris Rock had this great bit about he's like, it's weird that Hillary wants to be president. You want to go back to the room that you were completely, defiled in or whatever?
Fuck, that's good.
Yeah, that was
God
good.
Damn.
He's like, Rock. If I get fired from Applebee's, I'm not going there, I'm not going to apply to be a manager there.
That's good shit.
Yeah, he was good.
Chris Rock's a good comedian.
Yeah.
I had an idea about like how remember that ad campaign for hugs instead of drugs?
Oh shit! This is weird because I tweeted that
really
like a month ago.
Really?
Yeah, I don't care. I know you never saw it, but like,
fuck.
I tweeted that a month ago, and then I saw you tweet it, and I was like, ugh.
Oh, my bad, dude. I
don't care, but I just didn't want people to think I took it from you.
Oh, okay. Well,
no, but
it's my mistake.
Mine just said PSA, new updated PSA, drugs, not hugs.
Oh, shit. My angle is now hugs are worse.
Yeah.
Same joke. I fucked up. My fault, man.
Yours got more retweets.
Did it?
Oh, yours killed it. I think yours was worded better.
Well, I fucked up. My bad, dude.
No,
God damn it.
You just tweeted something. I knew you didn't see mine.
What else?
Hit me with another one.
Let me see what I got, man. I'm trying to find some jokes. I'm going through some old.
Yeah, me too.
What do I have? God damn. This is crazy that we could have been doing these fucking catch-ups from our couch the entire time, and now we're fucking.
I know.
Like, think about how many like hour and a half subway rides you took to fucking.
I know, and not to mention, if we had been working this whole time, these would probably be just killer bits working on stage. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I know. God damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a thing about how Magic Johnson's trying to speak out, and I love Magic Johnson, but this is like a little different. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like less people are getting COVID because they've been raw dogging half of Los Angeles. You know?
Right.
At least he got HIV doing something like probably fun.
Yeah.
Like you get COVID from a salad bar. You know, you're not getting. I don't know.
You're not getting from a supermodel.
Yes.
That's funny. Yeah. And I also wonder, is he worried about COVID? I think he's like, I'm good on viruses. They can't touch me.
I wonder. I don't know. I mean, anyone with a weakened immune system, which he probably has, could be at risk.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
What else you got?
Let's see. Could this be a quick joke? So my gal she was talking about getting pregnant. And she's like, I don't, I'm scared of getting pregnant because it's going to ruin my body. I'm going to have a horrible body after. And I was like, oh, no, you're fine. And she was like, yeah, I don't want to ruin my body. Maybe I'll get a surrogate. And I was like, yes, I'll fuck her. Yeah, like she stays hot. Surrogate to fuck. You got it.
Yeah, that's fucking funny.
I ran it by her and she liked it. So
Oh,
I just gotta
that's
figure out
big.
the wording.
Oh, that's big. That's big when you run it by the person that's about and they're on board.
Yeah. Like I said it in the moment and I got a big laugh. But I need to set it up right because she had set it all up, but now I got to do the whole dialogue on stage with one person.
Yeah, there's something about that for sure. The surrogate. That's pretty much a bit. That's pretty much as good to go.
It's just a misdirect, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I had one I ran by her today about, because yesterday she cuts my hair.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh my God, you look like a different person. And then she just starts kissing me a bunch. And I was like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that,
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Because it is that thing where I'm like, look, I get it,
Yeah.
I get it. I get you've been drinking fucking Pepsi.
Right. You want to Sprite.
You see a different soda, you're going to want it. I get it.
Yeah. But it's kind of funny. It's like, you know what I like about that haircut? It doesn't look like you. That's funny.
That's fucking hilarious. Yeah.
There's a lot there. Yeah. That's a really good angle.
Yeah. It only works if it's like by accident. I can't just like put a wig on her and be like, man, this is good.
That's a whole other branch to take it. That's great.
All right.
That by accident is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we have questions? Did people ask questions, or are they dumb?
Yeah, we got a lot. A lot of them were fucking just people being idiots.
When did they know he was gay? Or
yeah, let's see what we got. Maybe we got some better ones. Let me check. Someone wrote, why does he have two first names for his first and last name? Normand is a name, not Norman.
Yeah, the D.
Norman, yeah, Norman. That's not a name.
That's a good point.
What else?
French.
How do you come back to a bit you believed in but couldn't make it work from our buddy Steven Rogers?
Oh,
we talked on that a little, but you didn't give up on the trans, but we talked about that a little, but
I think the key to that is falling out of love with it. Because when you're in love with the new idea, you just see it in those rose-colored glasses. But if you fall out, you can see it objectively, I think. And that's the key. Maybe step back from it a bit.
That's good. That's very good. And you're right, I think. Putting it in a Word document, coming back a month later.
Oh, yeah.
Why not? You're right. When you love the bit, you kind of you get a little cranky.
Yeah, and you're like, I want it to work this way, and you're very stubborn about it, and you're like, but it's not going to work, and you got to realize that, and you got to really take a hard look at it later.
I do think that if you think there's something funny about a bit, you'll find a way to crack it at some point.
I agree. Yeah. I've had a million of those. It didn't work for 18 tries, and it just twisted a little bit, and it started working.
Yeah. So I bet there are a lot of bits in this hour that you just put out that you wrote years ago, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, there's some old stuff in there for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's just how it goes, I think.
Yeah.
Mark, where do you get your ideas from?
This is like a Charlie Rose question.
I'm going off Twitter now.
It just pops in. It's the same with anybody. I think like the thing with Taylor with the haircut, that just happens. So you're like, oh, there's something there. You get those.
Right.
And then you get like the bigger questions of like, man, it's got to suck how women, like if a guy has BO, it's like, ooh, you're a little stinky. If a woman has BO, you're like, shit, this chick's probably going through some stuff. Like yeah. And then you go, that could be something. Then you go, women have to hide their lives more. And then you just start growing on that. And it just kind of starts kind of snowballing.
Well, you get very philosophical in this special and you kind of ask some big questions. So don't you think that, those are bits that maybe have started as an observation, but then you sit at a computer and you try to crack it, right?
Yeah, for a long time. And I have to say it out loud. I can't even do the computer. I have to like talk it out in my apartment. It's really embarrassing. What?
You do it alone?
Yeah, I do it alone. I pace and talk, and I even hold a spoon like it's a mic. It's very embarrassing. And then I bring it on a stage, and like 2% of it gets a laugh, and the rest is confusing. And then I just keep going from there.
And also, if you have someone you could just talk a bit out with, just like let them talk at you. We do that with each other, sometimes it's important, you know,
Yeah,
to
talking it out is huge.
have a friend who you can
huge.
talk a bit out with.
Mm.
Yeah, we're answering a lot of these. Geez, some of these people are fucking monsters.
I get it.
I mean, these are
What's
our people.
Jerry's dick taste like? I'm sure that one's in there.
Someone wrote, "Don't ask him directly, but let me know if he mentions me." I like that. He hasn't. Favorite clubs?
Oh, that's easy.
That's easy.
I mean, Philly Helium might be my number one. Cap City, I like. Acme, Denver Comedy Works, San Francisco Punchline.
Yeah.
Fucking Tempe Improv is good. I like the Portland Helium.
Yeah.
Comedy on State, obviously, done 2 albums there.
Yeah, I agree with all those. I love.
Oh, there's some sleepers. Utah is great, and Royal Oak is good.
Both Royal Oak's the last club I played, and goddamn, they're good people. They just really they're patient. It's a weird club where you get the drunkards every once in a while. Like that is the weekend where I posted a video of a guy screaming he's going to whip his dick out. So you get the animals, but you also get they're very well behaved. They're just nice people.
Right. Oh, Side Splitters, we got to shout out. They've always taken care of us. And
hell yeah.
The Dallas Improv is pretty good.
Haven't done that one. I've heard good things. I'm sure I will at some point.
I can't remember the name. It's like some town outside of Dallas, but I can't.
Zanies, Chicago.
Zanies, killer, one of the best.
Love. I've never done Nashville. I'm supposed to do it in end of July, so I hope that doesn't get canceled.
Another great one. Yeah.
So many good clubs. I fear that we're gonna leave out a couple here, but
I know. Oh, Toronto, Yuck Yucks is great, and
just Toronto's a great city.
Vancouver, Yuck Yucks is great. Yeah, some of these are just great cities. Boston, left Boston, yeah.
DC, anything in DC.
DC, that's one of the best clubs ever. DC Improv, and I like the Draft House.
We're leaving out some, so I feel guilty already. But I mean, shit, Tacoma's great.
Oh, Tacoma's great, and Good Nights in Raleigh.
Oh, hell yes. Love Good Nights.
Club. Good club.
I feel like I'm always going up against something fucking insane there, though. There's always like a state fair or something where I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Rumors in Winnipeg. Every time I get there, I'm like, hey, the room's packed. They're like, yeah, this School of the Blind is here, and they're all facing the wrong way. I'm like, shit, there's always something up there.
I did a teachers conference in Winnipeg once, and they're like, it's all teachers. I'm like, great. Yeah. They always fucking love me.
Yeah, I mean the most famous one is Royal Oak. They do a lot of those too, and it was a school for dogs, like to train. What do they call those? Hero dog? What are the service dogs?
Hero dogs. And, that's what we're gonna have to call them in 2 years. This is not a service dog. This is a hero dog.
You're right. And but I'd be on stage and I would just like be in the middle of a punchline. So how about these Ubers? I'm like, yeah. I like Lyft more. And then I had a fun line with a lady kept heckling me, and I was like, ma'am, you're worse behaved than a dog. Dogs have been quiet, and you're fucking howling.
Oh, my God. That's fucking gold.
Fucking comedy.
Oh, my God. Do you feel the need to avoid certain subjects when opening for Jerry Seinfeld?
Of course, yeah. Pedophilia, school shootings, trans, I mean, you name it. It's like 8 subjects I touch on.
I want to hear Jerry do a fucking school shooting joke. I just want one dirty hour from Jerry.
Oh, because he's twisted. He's a sicko. I mean, he's an angry dude, much like the rest of us. So he's got him. And he's just, how can you be that curious about toasters and not think about necrophilia as well, you know? It's got to be in there.
There's a great Jerry fucking a dead body joke in there somewhere.
What's the deal with what's that thing where you freeze when you die? You know your body. Whoa, what's the deal with rigor mortis? All
right. Do you carry a joke pad with you everywhere you go? Of course, right?
Of course, yeah. I'm looking at it right now. I do a lot of iPhone too, but joke pad's always there.
Not to see. These are all fucking weird ones. I'll ask you one. Are you gonna next hour? Are you gonna throw a story in there? I'd love to hear some more stories because you're so good at it.
I get that a lot. I'm nervous about the time and the patience and the setup, and I'm so cowardly when it comes to boring the crowd that I just punch it up like crazy.
You wouldn't be boring the crowd though, because you are so. I have the same fear because I'm like you. I'm addicted to jokes, but I think it'd be a great tool, especially like during a check drop. You keep their attention, maybe
Yeah.
you. I don't know, man. I think I'd love to hear stories because you really have great ones.
Thanks. I appreciate it. You're great at it because you always have that big ending. I mean, that White Knight thing you worked on, that was your White Whale. You worked on that for 5 years. You text me at 4 a.m, like, what about this? What about that? You were like a mad scientist just tinkering away with that.
It's gotta be satisfying. And then it was like, oh, I'll just do a callback. And because sometimes you got to close on those because it's different than the rest. But then sometimes you could just throw it in the middle to break up the rhythm. The stories are great to have in an hour for joke guys like us, I think.
Stories are great for that too, and I think they hit people more. There's something about a story. It's like this ancient art of storytelling where it resonates with people more because there's a resolution, there's a problem, you come out of it. A joke is just like a fun, like a cocaine bump, but a story is like it's like an acid trip almost, where you get somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good point.
A little heavy-handed, but you see.
No, I think you're right, man. I think people remember stories. There's something true about that because we do so many bits, but then so many people after the show is like White Knight, something like that, or so many people like the Gator bit because it was a longer bit. Sometimes people they feel more attached to a longer bit, but then you have some great long. I mean, your sluts joke's got to be 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's a long one, but I think you're right because this is not happening twice, and that gets brought up more than anything, and that was hell for me being up there telling that story, and I had a panic attack telling that shit. But it comes back to me a lot. And those all have 1 million plus, where a lot of my bits, not 1 million. So I think it resonates.
Well, yeah, a lot of observational comics don't have crazy true stories, but you do. So, I mean, you'll get to it at some point you're going to just want to do it, I'm sure. But also the jokes are great anyway. So there's no rush, but
I should try to do it. And, fuck it. If you can't go left, work on it.
Any comedy specials this year that you really enjoyed?
I mean, I loved Paper Tiger was great. I liked Chappelle's. What was that one?
I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I like Seinfeld's. I mean, I know he's touching on answering machines, which is kind of like, all right, easy, buddy. We're really dipping back here. But I liked it. I mean, it's tight as a drum.
I loved his Laserdisc chunk that he did in there.
Yeah, he had some good stuff on Betamax.
Who else? Any others?
Yeah, I mean, Jeselnik's last one was.
I gotta watch that one. Yeah.
Oh, you would love it, man.
Yeah,
talk
he's
about
great.
Talk about a story. He's got a story at the end.
Yeah.
I thought Bert that Starbucks chunk. If you watch Bert Kreischer's, he does a chunk on Starbucks, and it's basically a story, but it's fucking killer. Just so punched up.
He is a machine.
He's a shirtless machine. But that was all for this year, right? I don't know what else came out.
What else?
Roy Woods was great, but I think that's older.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't even been. We're like 4 or 5 months into the year. So
Roy's was more than a year ago, I think. Yeah, Roy's was a while back. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his. I don't know. There's a lot of like Ronan. If you go albums, I might have more albums. Like Ronan's album is great.
Excellent. He's excellent. Ronan
Hirschberg. Sam Evans has a new album out. I'm sure that's good. Joe Zimmerman's album is killer.
Yeah, killer. Yeah. All of them.
Yeah.
Trying to think of others.
Oh, Taylor Tomlinson had a great one.
Great
there you
special.
go. That was new.
I feel we're bringing it up because
Oh yeah, I forgot.
But her special's great, and I'll throw Ronnie Chang's in there as well.
Oh, Chang was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't get to see him a lot, so actually seeing an act of his was like, whoa, shit, he's coming out swinging.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff of his. I mean, I see him all the time at the Cellars. A lot of stuff I hadn't heard, and it was cool. I can't wait for our buddy Joe Liss either. So.
Oh yeah. Yours was great. Obviously, I saw it live, and I saw it or I listened to it on at Side Splitters when you hadn't shot it yet. You were like, "What do you think of this? Anything been done?" So I heard it raw.
You're such a good fucking friend, man. When I basically texted to you, do I cut any of these jokes? Have you heard anything here before? And is it ready to shoot? You're the only person I did that with, so I'm grateful, man.
No, it was great to listen to, and that was with a check spot. That was with a couple heckles in it too. So that
In
was, and
Tampa.
it still killed in Tampa, of all places.
Fucking Tampa, man. God
I
bless them.
know.
That's really, as much as I hate Naples, I got to give it up. Tampa's fucking solid. It's
It's
a good
true.
club.
It's a stone's throw away, and it's night and day.
Let's see if we got anything else that's good. I didn't even check the Instagram. I'm an idiot. Maybe you got some of them, but
Nothing great. I saw a few, but these are better.
these are better. Twitter's better for this shit.
So I got to ask you, for my own personal notebook, now that you're at about 2.5 mil,
Uh-huh.
do you feel kind of like just satiated? Like, all right, I'm good.
Never.
2.5 mil is such a good number that you can kind of relax.
I'm grateful, I'm very grateful for the people that have shared it, and I'm grateful that people said they liked it, and that I have a pretty pretty intense fear of death, which is why I try to put a lot of stuff out there, because you
I
never
didn't
know
know
what's going to
that.
happen. Oh yeah.
What?
So I want stuff to live. I want stuff to be on the internet. If I get hit by a bus tomorrow, I can just have a body of work. Not that
Interesting.
not that it's gonna. It's funny. I was watching a movie with Taylor the other night, and she said, "You love old movies," and I think it's because you're so scared of death. Because these
Wow.
people's work lives on. And I said, "That's a damn good point."
That's heavy. Boy, she
Yeah.
nailed it right there.
So yeah, I'm grateful, but I don't think I'm. I can't say I'm fully satiated, just because you do this one as a trailer for the road. I'm a live performer. I love doing the road, and I did that for. You do that one special for the next one. So this
Right.
one, I'm grateful that it's doing well and that it's living, but I'm hungry for the next one, and I'm far from satiated.
All right. All right.
But
Yeah, I just because
you know,
I'm still climbing to 1 million, so I'm like, come on, let's get to it. Because I feel like once I
it's a
get
few
somewhere,
days. It's a few days, dude. It's gonna. I mean, yours will surpass mine. It's doing so well, and it's
I think I've hit a wall. I had a nice bump, but I've hit a wall. But
speaking like a true comedian.
I'm happy with it. I'm not complaining. I'm ecstatic with the turnout, but I'm just saying, like, I'll just feel better. But I guess it's like comedy where you go, yeah, I got Conan. Now I want a half hour. All right, now I
Sure.
want an hour. You just keep wanting more, I guess.
I think we're just gonna be in it forever. So there's something terrifying and also calming about that.
Out.
All good, man. Shit.
Oh boy.
Uh, this is part of what we're living through. I don't remember what were we talking about.
Oh shit. What the
I
hell were
think.
we
Oh, I
talking
think
about?
fear of death or something like that. Just
Oh
a
yeah, I have no idea.
catalog and a cabinet catalog.
Yeah, I could totally get. I have a fear of time, which I guess is the same thing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I had no, but you're scared like getting hit by a bus.
And it just not being here. I want to put my time in. I want to have a body of work. You know.
Same, same. Yeah, like I always see these guys with 8 books and documentaries, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that, but I just, you know,
Well, we're
time.
gonna hopefully be around for a while, and I mean, I hope we get another we get cracking to another special soon. I want to get back in the clubs.
Yeah, yeah, same. This is. I guess we took a lot for granted. I know I did. All we did when we see each other was like, this fucking manager screwed me, and this club stiffed me, and this club I got
Yeah,
heckled, and they cut a show, and all that, and yeah, I didn't know what I had.
I miss day-to-day problems.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
We
And
took,
look, maybe we needed a 2 week break, but this is too much.
we were talking about going on vacation, and now I'm like, when the fuck is anyone going on a vacation? We're so hungry to work. So Taylor filmed her special in you know I think November, and I did mine in December, and then she was like, we should do a vacation December, and I was like, all right, let's do it. And then I just was like, I can't. I need material.
Yeah,
And she was like, yeah, I need material. So it was kind of just turned into her coming to New York, and we just did cellar spots every night. and
yeah.
now and now I'm like, aren't you glad? You were pissed, aren't you glad I told us not to go away
But
somewhere?
I mean, call me a cunt, but don't you think that I'll go on a vacation with my lady, and the whole time I'm like, I'm a piece of shit. I should be working. Let me think of a bit about sand or about daiquiris or something, because I like working. Like working is my vacation. And if I need a little break, I'll have a cocktail at the end of the night and soak it all in. I don't know. To me, I just feel vacations are wasting so much time, and I get it. I know they're necessary, but I don't know. I like to get out there. The
We love
vacations
our
are the little
jobs.
things. What's
Yeah,
that?
but we love our jobs, and
Yeah.
also we love our jobs, and also we've trained ourselves to kind of not stop. Like we need a
Right.
certain amount of jokes every day. So if we stop doing that, it's hard to turn it back on. It's painful.
Yes, that's another thing. Yes, starting the bicycle is so much harder than just when you're in the zone pedaling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But we got
But
to. We should do this again, man. I think this is good. Maybe we'll make this. We could do this a thing every once in a while. Just at least catching up. Should.
yeah. Well, it's good to hear from you and hear about the other guy with the YouTube. Because no one else knows what the hell we're going through.
Yeah. There's a few people have done it, but yeah, I mean, we've kind of come up together, and we've kind of like leaned on each other a lot, like, just for advice and
Yeah.
so we've gone through a lot together. So I definitely feel that like my career is connected to yours in a lot of ways.
Totally. Like, yeah, same agent, Comedy Central, yeah, Schumer gigs, Comedy Cellar, you name it.
But dude, I'm proud of you for real. I mean, it's really cool. We were laughing really hard last night. A lot of like pauses for like, oh, I want to not miss jokes. So
Thanks.
it was great, man. I was proud and happy for
Same.
you.
Well, we push each other. I mean, I was sitting in the back of the Village Underground watching your special being taped, going like, "Oh God, the CEO dick bit is so good."
Oh, thanks, man.
That was about the intern versus the CEO is killer. If you haven't watched his special, you haven't watched mine. Go watch them now.
Go watch him.
They're tight. They're lights out. There's not a wasted word. There's no fat on it. This is comedy, folks. This is comedy from two hungry, non-famous, middle of the road guys. We're not broke. We're not rich. We're just not middle of the road like, mediocre. Just nobodies.
Yeah.
With some talent.
We're still hungry. Is what he's saying.
Yeah. I mean, when I go to a podcast in LA and I see Brendan Schaub pull up in a Ferrari, I'm like, I will never have that. I could do this for 100 more years. I'll never have that car and those sneakers and that haircut and the whole thing. They're all doing great. They're all driving Porsches and all this shit, and they have mansions. And Theo Vaughn's got a mullet and a mansion. How does that work? But they're funny guys. Don't get me wrong, but I would like to be in that boat.
I don't think you're far from it, man. I think it's coming.
Same. I think it's coming for both of us. I think we just got to keep working, and that's why this pandemic is so frustrating.
Fucking hurting, man. But we'll stay at it, man. It's not about that at the end of the day. It's about, I mean, that stuff's all nice, but that stuff's not forever. Comedy is hopefully forever. So when it comes back, like, I know we're going to hit the ground hard, but I also don't want to put ourselves at risk and put others at risk. So.
Right. Yeah.
It's easy to say, fuck it all. I'm going to put it on the line, but there's other people at risk too. And it's going to be, hopefully it comes back soon.
They chose to come out though.
That is true.
It's not like I'm jumping into an old folks home going, hey, you fucking close to the grave, huh? How's that, this is one big coffin we're in,
I'll tell you, old folks home, it's a shame they're so at risk, because that would be the perfect place to work out, to get back into shape, because they're not going to find us funny, so the bombs don't matter, and we get our muscle memory back.
Right.
And old folks homes.
And we look like heroes, because look at these guys entertaining the old people. Who else would do that?
My biological father used to brag to me. He goes, I'd love to meet you Wednesday for lunch. I'm playing piano at the old folks home. I'd be like, you're not a good person. You can't just.
You just want attention.
You just want to play piano, and that's the only audience you're going to get. That's what you're doing.
And I'll tell you what, if you're doing that gig and they walk out, that means you're really bad. Because that guy had to get a walker, he had to get a respirator, the old Jamaican lady to help him. Yeah.
Dude, let's do this again sometime, man.
All right, we'll do it again. I had another question. I can't think of it. So, but this was great.
It was great, man. Great to talk to you. We'll get this cut up, man.
Yes.
Perfect.
I have more questions about your special, but
next time we'll do it again.
All right, cool.
We'll do the East Coast West Coast catch up. What were you calling this? The bi-coastal?
Yeah, a bi-coastal. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
BYE coastal.
Let's do it.
Because I want to hear about LA and I want to compare it to New York and the whole thing. And you're the most New York guy on the planet.
I can't wait to catch up with you again, man. Let's stay in touch, and as we obviously will. But yeah, we'll throw this on YouTube for the people.
All right. Do you know how to connect because we cut out?
I'll figure it out.
All right.
If I can't, someone else will.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah. Keep me posted. Let me know when it's out. Great to talk to you. I love you. And
Love you.
can't wait to get back out there.
All right. Talk soon, man. Miss you.
All right. Did that make sense?